Hey folks, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and rather my usual little kind of preload intro where I'll do some spinning around. I figured today Microsoft's own cameras do actually a really good job of looking at this plane. This is the Long-EZ, sorry, made by the Rutan Aircraft company. It's the model 61. This one is produced by India Foxtrot Echo, a developer who's done some fantastic aircraft in the past. One of their first two, along with an Italian jet, to come to Flight Simulator 2020. And this one does look a little wild. Yeah, this is a front canard operated kit plane. It's crazy. This thing looks awesome. It's a two-seater sitting in tandem with a 26-foot wingspan. It has 52 gallons of fuel that can take it for 1,700 nautical miles at a speed of 144 knots cruise, max about 161, and it runs on a single Lycoming 0235 flat 4, which is air-cooled, and it's a pusher, which makes it even more unique. This thing can get up to 27,000 feet, and you will need oxygen, but it's a beautiful little aircraft, and we're here at Orbx Island by Orbx to take a look exactly at this. So let's hop right in the cockpit, shall we? So first thing you're going to notice when you get inside is this is pretty Spartan, and this is my first time being in the aircraft. We can operate the canopy, which is rather nice. Not something you'd want to do in flight, being a over-the-top style. The texturing is gorgeous. The leather, the carbon fiber, absolutely stunning. So I have not touched this aircraft yet. This is my first look. So we'll pop our... Once we find out batteries, actually, that would probably be a better start for us. There we go. Put the fuel pump on. Make sure we are good to go here. Work out what our controls are. We have speed brakes, of course, something I'm reluctant to deploy as they're very, very effective in Flight Simulator. We can't do a lot of the manual start procedures in this aircraft that you would in real life because we can't put the nose down on the ground, because in reality you would start this with its nose wheel collapsed. Yeah. So we're going to pump the throttle 4 times as described in the start procedures. Set it back, and we are going to start our engine. And it starts. Nice. So let's just pop outside for a second. This aircraft would technically start with the nose wheel down. The passenger would climb in with the nose wheel collapsed. You'd start the engine with the nose wheel collapsed. Actually, no, you wouldn't. That would be afterwards. Never mind. But the pilot climbs in after the gear's been basically extended from the outside, and then hop in, close the hatch. I believe it's actually hand started, so yes, you would start it with the nose on the ground. And it is quite an unusual, tiny little aircraft. This one with a rather amusing shark nose. It looks like a drone, almost. As you can tell, there are wheel pants on the main gear, meaning they do not retract. The nose wheel, however, does. And we'll see that in a second. So let's hop back inside the cockpit. We'll put our alternator on and our avionics master. Got a simple Garmin autopilot there. Single spot on the instrument panel. Got our strobes, and we have pitot heat. Not going to need that today. That's our gear lever there. We've got mixture, we've got carb heat, constant speed prop. I will just deploy this for you so you can see it, because, yeah, underbody spoiler or speed brake. Definitely an interesting feature. So we'll pop that up. They are hyper effective, by the way, in Flight Sim, always have been. So not something I'd recommend in a plane this small. You will basically throw out the anchors. Alright, so we are good to rock and roll. We're going to take her up for a little circuit here and have a look at how she operates and get a good feel for it. Very, very good visibility, being a tiny little plane with a bubble canopy. No seams, no nothing. Almost as if you're flying. One of the pieces of advice given by the Rutan company was never exceed angles of roll and pitch that would place the canard on the horizon, so we're going to have to be a little bit more careful about that. Now, from what I've been told by the manual with this from India Foxtrot Echo, is that you need to avoid, need to encourage the nose wheel to stay on the ground on takeoff roll, because these cannons in real life would gain authority a lot later, whereas in the sim they gain authority a lot quicker, and you'll find nose wheel bounce on takeoff roll. So you're going to want to hold the nose down a little bit, Orcus traffic, remember 403 Sierra X-ray is going to be departing at this time. Runway 34, straight out. Let's enter the runway. Nothing visible. Loving the dirt in the cockpit from the glass glare. Beautiful little feature. Now we do not have, as far as I'm aware, any flaps. We do not have flaps that I'm aware of. Not that we really need it. Anyway, let's get ourselves lined up and go again. We'll take off and we'll have a bit of a fly around, see how this thing behaves. Right, gonna hold the nose down a little bit here. Let our speed build up. Don't want those cannons to lift us off too soon. Could lead to an early stall. She wants to stay on the runway. Oh my god, that's stiff. Ooh. That was quite stiff on takeoff. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that. I was holding it down the runway so long it didn't want to come off. I think I ended up just on the surface there. So as we look outside, our nose wheel is up and we're in flying configuration, which is kind of weird. It's like an eagle there with the two rear wheels down and the nose retracted, but back inside. So in terms of our viewpoints from Microsoft, we have a landing one which kind of pops us through the canopy a little bit, which is annoying. The regular viewpoint and a full-on IFR viewpoint there that we could operate the aircraft from. Let's drop that throttle back and we'll reset our view. So it is a very nimble aircraft now. We don't want to basically exceed the canard. Now I believe that would be in a pitch maneuver rather than a roll per se. The aircraft handles interestingly. Now of course this does use the canards for its pitch, and you'll notice there, see canard control pitch, and we're controlling our roll from, if you can see them there, a standard aileron that's almost acting like it's a stabulator as well. When you pitch, you'll notice they can also move. Rudder is controlled by the two outboard fins, so it's giving it a very, very asymmetric behavior, especially with the pusher prop. First time I've flown anything like this in FS 2020. Those scratches are incredibly visible when it's directly into sunlight. Maybe a little strong, in my opinion, from a graphic point of view, because whilst it's realistic, it is a bit strong in a sim. Handling is incredibly stable. I'm going to try and mess with this now. We'll happily roll. Now unfortunately, because it doesn't handle exactly like the regular configuration of aircraft in the sim, it will spin and recover easily, unlike the real thing, which was very deadly in the spin because of its unconventional design. However, in flight sim, it's a very docile aircraft. We'll stall her in a second. In fact, we'll go for a banking stall. Try and enter a spin as the sim decides it wants to hang right at the point of stall. Would you like to stall, please? Anytime this week. Anytime. Okay, we've got some movement. She's incredibly placid in the stall, actually. That's surprising. I was expecting more. The aircraft really does behave. We'll try and gain a little bit of altitude. She's got good climb performance, about 1700 feet a minute. It can manage, although we're exceeding that right now in terms of a sustainable climb. Push the nose down a little bit. We'll see how she wants to handle. But overall, a very nice aircraft from what I'm seeing. FPS performance is great. I'm hitting around 50-60 FPS on Ultra. The aircraft is not even a bother. Naturally, of course, I've only got one glass screen here, the GPS, which is reducing the impact, and the refresh rate, of course, will be a major factor in your settings for Flight Sim 2020. So that's always one to keep an eye on. But the aircraft is a solid performer, I'd say. Alright, let's go for a power off stall. You'll notice we've got the light there of throttle closed. Let's bring the nose up. and hold it. Stall comes on. It wants to drop the nose. Let's encourage it, shall we? There we go. Spin recovery, nice and easy. Throttle back so we don't exceed speed, and we're recovered. So the aircraft behaves very placidly overall. If you want a nice aircraft to view scenery from, this is going to be a banger. 24 Australian dollars, or roughly, correct me if I'm wrong, under 20 bucks US. This is a real steal. Let's try and land her and see how she performs. I'm now throttle off, trying to bank. That was a bad idea. Value for money is fantastic. I've not found a lot of bugs so far, but it's a very simple aircraft. Like I said, if you want an aircraft to view scenery from, this is a phenomenal choice. Only criticism I'd say is I'd probably scale back the scratches on the Perspex hood. Canopy, sorry. That's my only criticism, really. Comes with 4 or 5 liveries, including a couple of stripy ones, a kind of Thunderbird style one, and this almost droney American fighter aircraft style, which I love, actually. So we're coming in for the runway. We'll deploy that speed brake, see if it... Let's see what our speed does here. Look at that, it's pouring off. That is crazy. Let's say nope to that. Let's drop the main gear. So how does she side slip, actually? That's a good question. How do you slip? Not something this aircraft should actually like to do if it was the real one, but based on a conventional flight model as it is, it will happily do it. And it has got no gear indicator or horn, so that's going to be a meme for determining whether or not we can. Let's pop that. Let's try and cross this aircraft up as much as we can. There we go. Oh, hello. Misaligned. Bring her back onto the center line here. Aircraft comes in nicely. A little quick, but we should be alright as we float there. Let her settle down. She's a little bit roll sensitive on the landing approach, I've noticed. We're down. Let's apply some brakes and stop the aircraft. Braking force is great. Love it. Best I can say is this is a real surprise winner. The visibility is phenomenal in terms of having a gorgeous flight sim experience, being able to see a lot, enjoy the scenery. Cruise speed is fantastic, so 144 knots. You could reasonably use this for a 2-seater cruiser. You know, enjoy the environment, go cross country. No autopilot. You got a transponder, you got a radio. It's basic baby life. You gotta enjoy yourself flying behind the stick here, because this is the sort of plane it needs. The ground handling is fantastic. I really, really, really enjoy this plane, and I think they came out with a cracker. Now, not a jet expert, so I probably will not be reviewing the jet by India Foxtrot Echo that came out, the Miachi, correct me if I'm wrong there, Italian trainer, tandem trainer, but from what I've seen of their stuff in P3D and FSX, they make fantastic aircraft, and the same has held true for 2020. So hopefully you enjoyed this review, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!